Assassin's Creed has had 14 mainline games as of making this video. I had a look at the best casts of the series in my opinion in part 1 of this 2-part ranking. In this video I will specifically rank the remaining 7 mainline Assassin's Creed casts. This ranking, like part 1, will not be including the protagonist themselves, only the rest of the cast and their impact on the protagonist. In this video I'll be ranking the casts from best to worst. Just to clear up any confusion, it's time for the main event of whatever time it is when you're watching this video. Let's complete this Assassin's Creed cast ranking, so without further ado, let's begin. Assassin's Creed Rogue had the luxury of pre-established characters who could feature in the game and was able to bring in brand new characters and historical figures. A large chunk of the cast are duds, just for Shay to interact with or kill. But there are some performances that enhance the game overall. I think the best performance and characterization in this game would be Adewale. The legendary assassin causes Shay to doubt whether he's on the right side or not. Ade is the only assassin in this game who is not reduced to hard R, retard status, and was not a complete dick towards Shay for no reason. While another pre-established character like Haytham is not quite characterized the best in this installment. There are times where Haytham should stamp his authority more in situations, but instead he silently stands there and lets other people he would think were beneath him come up with the plans. If Haytham is there, he would always be hands-on and take the lead. Even when he works with Connor, he will always try to take the lead and tell Connor what to do.
Well, you'd best get after him then.
You go. I will watch the prisoners.
No, you do it.
Why me?
Because I said so. Now go!
The antagonists, for the most part, are written shockingly. The Templars just about do enough to not be deemed mediocre, so this cast earn 8th place overall, and the 7th worst cast in the Assassin's Creed series. Assassin's Creed Unity has a fairly lackluster cast. The core of the ensemble would be Elise, Bellic and Germain. Elise is the most well developed of the cast besides the protagonist Arno. She acts a charming love interest in Sequence 1 and then she pushes Arno away whenever she gets a chance, while Arno follows her like a good little simp he is. Which is not the fantasy I wanted to be playing out in an Assassin's Creed game. I might as well have just loaded up Twitch and sent my money to hot tub streamers instead. Germain is a bit of a nothing burger. He is a sage, grandmaster of the Templars. He is the one-dimensional villain of this game. Then there is Bellic, who was underutilized. The arc that would have made the most sense would be Bellic killing Elise. It makes more sense since Bellic used Elise as motivation for Arno to train. Even with the training from Bellic, he was unable to stop Bellic from killing Elise. Unity was already a tragic story and game performance, but this might have taken the tragedy to another level. Bellic is of course my favourite character in this game since he calls Arno pisspot multiple times. Yep, that's the standards I have. Deal with it. Bellic also elevates every scene he's in, from comedic duo banter to dramatic confrontations. Bellic elevates Arno the most as a character. A shame that Bellic was not more of an integral character of this game. Due to the memory corridors used in Unity, which included no discussions between Arno and the bulk of the Templars except for Germain, this meant Arno was not pondering on what he did was right or wrong. No time for self-reflection, just move on to the next target to take out. Assassin's Creed Unity was more focused on gameplay rather than telling a compelling narrative like previous entries in the series, and this led to Unity also having a cast of characters that just about scrapes by and does the job. What's so impressive about Abubakar Salim's performance as Bayek is what he was acting with. This was the first Assassin's Creed RPG, which meant a larger cast than any installment before it in the series. This resulted in some dud performances. The Order of the Ancients were the best of the cast since they brought the most out of Bayek as a character. If it was anger or grief, these memory corridors were a highlight of the game, showcasing what this journey means to Bayek. Hepzibah did enough as a homie to Bayek, where Bayek would showcase his charm when he had a cool head. My main disappointment with this cast was Aya. She hid her pain and sorrow a little too well compared to Bayek. She never showed a shred of vulnerability, which would have allowed the player to connect with the character more. When you go from how Bayek deals with Kemu's death to how Aya deals with it, there's just a lack of sorrow from Aya, a mother who has lost her son. As a character, she is just a plank of wood who catches fire every now and then. Overall, this cast don't put in a performance that deserves a more advantageous spot in this ranking. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. First game in the series to have title cards pop up for each historical figure instead of writing organic interactions that actually serve the narrative of the game. Instead of pointing out historical figures who were alive at the time and just so happened to bump into with Jacob and Evie. Syndicate tries its best at satire, which leads to there being no investment in the story if the writing team can't be arsed taking it seriously themselves. Satire does not work well when it's implemented in a series that took its narrative and world seriously in every entry before it. It would be like Monty Python and the Holy Grail was the sequel to Schindler's List. It just doesn't work, right? The game has no compelling narrative to follow, all we have is the next goofy sketch to wait for. Since satire is the priority of this game, it makes sense the characters that work best within those constraints are the ones who don't take themselves too seriously. I think Frederick Aberline works well for the comedic moments, but also the performance holds back from going all in on the goofy side. When Freddy appears in the Jack the Ripper DLC, you're able to take him seriously, which should be expected of a DLC covering Sears events. A shame that the base game was unable to set a similar tone, which would have been more authentic to the setting the game takes place in. The villains of this game offer little in the way of discussion about the Assassin Templar conflict. Maxwell Roth did have a reasonable impact on Jacob, making him more aware of his reckless past transgressions, but not much beyond that, except millions of Tumblr threads shipping the two. Henry Green was a reasonably well done ally who was underutilized, mainly falling heads over heels for Evie. Overall, the cast of Assassin's Creed Syndicate are used to a limited extent, and that's why it has earned this ranking. Assassin's Creed Shadows is the most recent installment of the Assassin's Creed series. At the time of recording this video, the game delivered in the stealth and open world department, however in the cast department,
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
the presentation of the antagonists' confessions may have upset some fans. What upset me more was the lack of substance in these confessions.
What's in the box, Guy 9?
I don't know. Never cared about the box.
That's funny. All your comrades have said the exact same thing. So why were you there that night to collect the box and kill my father?
Power.
Wow, I learned a lot from this confession. Thank you.
Insane. Truly a masterpiece, that was. And that's how you do acting, Ubisoft. Hire me next time, I guess, if you need an actor instead of just ChatGPT. Truly disappointing the lack of discussion or substance these confessions contained. Time for the allies, and oh boy, this cast can range from super cringe wannabe Chad with an American accent who killed himself in my playthrough, leaving Naui to have a Jeremy Clarkson reaction.
Oh no! Anyway.
Then you've got Junjiro, the 7-year-old who ended up being the catalyst to bring Yasuke and Naui together in a tonally all over the place scene. Yasuke really just going to find Naui so she can execute him? Like, what the fuck's that logic? Okay. Tomiko is fine. Like, really fine. Sorry, but my Arno simp brain turned on for a second. Get that thing off. Alright. Anyway, back to the rest of the cast. Let's talk about the recruits. Flirty stoic woman with gun, pacifist woman sumo wrestler, and womanizing simp who kills himself if he does not ferociously shag Naue. To be fair, there is at least more personality in these recruits than the assassin recruits in Brotherhood and Revelations combined, so it's got that going for it, I guess. Then we have the rest of the cast, who make up the better portion of this cast. Oda Nobunaga added some much needed quality to his scenes. The actor's performance captured me every time the big Oda G appeared on screen, continuously providing interesting interactions that had some weight to them. Hattori Hanzo ended up being a massive letdown. He should probably have been the samurai assassin to act as mentor or even protagonist of this game. Instead, he is a fucking incel who betrayed the assassins because Naue's mother rejected him. Louis Foy ended up being my favourite character of the cast. He had little screen time, probably a good thing, but his kind nature gave Yasuke some much needed warmth in a life full of misery. Overall, this cast of characters had a fleeting impact on the protagonists. Like the game itself, they were not offensive to the Assassin's Creed series, but they offered little, and for that, I rank thy cast 12th overall in this ranking and 3rd worst cast of the Assassin's Creed series. And that's with recency bias, my goodness. What do you think of that, Kratos?
Fucking hell.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey's cast is a little all over the place, which fits the Eaglebearer's character perfectly. The cast can be one-dimensional at times, with most characters just acting as archetypes, rather than fully fledged characters. It's quite funny because even though Odyssey has a huge cast of characters, most of them don't test or evolve the protagonist, and a lot fall into two categories. You've got the bumbling male idiot, who's there to make the Eaglebearer look great. You also have strong female maverick character that becomes less special when you come across a bunch more scattered across Greece that all walk and talk the exact same way. And that's 90% of the cast summarized in this game. The Eaglebearer takes nothing away from their interactions with the Cult of Cosmos members. Nothing makes them question their morality. No nuanced discussions, just smash the next beetle, and that's all this game is. I'll give Stupidius the MVP award, since he did cut out his own eyes, so bro deserves a reward for that, I guess. Assassin's Creed Mirage was praised for doing its best to return to the series' roots in terms of iconography and similar gameplay. This game did not offend people, and it got a free pass from most fans of the series due to Basim wearing assassin robes and wielding a hidden blade. But when you dig a little deeper past the facade of the Assassin's Creed iconography, you'll find very little substance. The writing was safe and boring for the entire game. It makes sense this would filter through to the cast being dull and forgettable. But worst of all, the mission structure of this game does not allow Basim to grow properly and reflect as a character throughout the game. Since you can assassinate the Order of the Ancients members in any order, the writer is not able to progress Basim in terms of his world beliefs or reflecting on targets he has killed. In Assassin's Creed 1, you could kill targets in any order, but the difference is the memory blocks. These prevent you from progressing the story until Altair reflects and discusses his findings with Al-Mualim or other characters of the cast. In terms of narrative structure, this leads to Altair rapidly changing his worldview, while Basim is the same until he finds out about the temple under Almut Castle, which is after the final Order of the Ancients target is killed, right at the end of the Baghdad missions. So these targets have no impact on Basim as a character, while every target in Assassin's Creed 1 had an impact on Altair, due to the structure of that game's narrative. I guess the only character I thought brought some interesting points was Ali, the freedom fighter guy, who questions how free the hidden ones are, when that is one of their main goals during this time period. They fight for freedom, but they're not free to act for themselves. Other than that, a pretty dull cast of characters, to be honest, so let's wrap this ranking up before I fall asleep. So this is my cast ranking in total on screen now. I spent a good few months redrafting this ranking, changing my opinion on multiple placements, especially with the top 7, so be sure to check out that video if you haven't already to see my reasoning behind these placements. Be sure to do your ranking of the casts in the comments down below. Also, let me know if you enjoyed this 2-part format for the cast ranking. Would you have preferred it to be in one video with a length of over 30 minutes? Or keep the best and worst candidates separated in future rankings? Let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe to support the channel, and I'll catch you all next time.